What's going on, everyone? It's Alex here from Aleks Physio. So today we're going to be chatting a little bit about the Canadian 24-hour movement guidelines, the updated version. So let's get right into it. The nice thing about the updated version is that it includes more than just how much exercise you should be getting per week. It also looks at how much sleep you should be getting, how much time you should be spending being sedentary, and it also breaks down some of the categories to different ages. So it even has a toddler group, so 0 to 4 years. It has a children's group from 5 to 17, and then it has the 18 to 64 group, and then it has the over 65 group, and it even has a section on individuals with spinal cord injuries as well, which helps to make it really encompassing and more comprehensive. So let's chat about the 18 to 64 group. So the main recommendation is 150 minutes per week of moderate to vigorous intensity exercise. And moderate can be defined as a brisk walk, and vigorous is defined as a jog or a run, or obviously, sprinting would be on the higher end of those things. In addition to the cardiovascular component, they also recommend 2 times a week for strength training. That includes major muscle groups, which is obviously very important because you don't want to just work on the cardiovascular component. You need to work on the strength training component to help from a bone mineral density perspective, to help with the overall strength and limiting the likelihood of suffering from frailty as you get older and things of that nature. The next thing that they want to chat about or they bring up is the sleep. So they do mention 7 to 9 hours of sleep, in addition to saying limiting sedentary time to less than 8 hours and no more than 3 hours at a time, in addition to just trying to take breaks, as often as you can. So getting up and walking around. In addition to all that, they also mention several hours, or recommending several hours of light duties that include things such as standing and just general movement to try to limit the amount of sedentary time. So I really like that aspect as well, because you can get your workout in, you can go for your 30-minute walk 5 times a week, get your two days a week workout, but what are you doing in the other hours, right? If you're only spending 30 minutes or 45 minutes exercising and then you're just sitting and not doing anything all day, well, that's not good, right? So you want to try to not only get your workouts in if you can. Obviously this is difficult because just depending on what situation and environment you're in, and what the personal situation is, but nonetheless you want to try to find ways where you can create more activity into your day-to-day life. So things like, if you're taking the bus, taking the bus stop one stop early, parking further away if you're going shopping, just trying to find ways to squeeze in more movement snacks, or movement times, or maximizing the amount of opportunities that you can get to try to move more and sit and be sedentary less. The other thing that's important to be mindful of with this Canadian physical activity guideline is that for the individuals that are over 65, there is a component that they mention about balance. So just trying to incorporate more balanced exercise and activities into your day-to-day, because again, as we get older, our balance and our reaction time can start to drop a little bit as well. So if you don't use it, you lose it. That theory applies to balance as well, because it tends to get neglected, but falls and falls prevention strategies are huge, especially as you get older. So definitely important to work on that. There are different classes that are offered usually in a lot of communities that you can attend, in addition to seeing a physiotherapist to put you on a program if you do find that you've been struggling with falls, or your balance is decreasing, giving you things to work on that is more than just standing on one leg. So that's pretty much it with regards to the movement guidelines. Obviously there's more of an in-depth version. I'll link the guideline at the bottom of the caption box just for you to have a look. I really like it. I like how it's very thorough and comprehensive, and focuses on a lot of different components, not just the movement aspect. Of course, it's hard to make it really specific and individualized because everyone's is different, so they do have to generalize some aspects, but I really like it. And I like to try to educate individuals on it, because a lot of people don't even know, what they're required to do from a physical activity perspective, right? So me using my role as a physiotherapist to not only help individuals with their pain and their condition, but also finding ways to just get them more physically active and providing this education is huge for me, because that's one of my overarching goals. It's not just to get you better, but how do I incorporate more activity and exercise into your day-to-day life to help with the conditions that can be faced later on in life, such as heart disease, stroke, diabetes, fatigue, depression, all these things that exercise is very strongly supported in the literature. And this is another aspect that the Canadian Physical Activity and Movement Guidelines chats about. They talk about why this is beneficial, and it gives some education on what it can be useful for in terms of treating or at least slowing the progression of different non-communicable diseases, which are diseases that don't get passed on from one person to the other, that you can control, that you have control over. And that's pretty much it. So the other thing, though, to be mindful of is 80% of individuals don't reach these benchmarks in Canada. So that's another thing that's, concerning for me, because I'm reaching them individually just because I have that experience and I'm really passionate about exercise myself. So I have to try to practice what I preach and use what I can, and helping people to get out of pain so that they can participate in this, because not everyone can if there are other limitations in their lives. But just understanding that exercise is, you can do it anywhere. It's portable. You can do it whenever you want. You just got to find something that you like to do, and try to work more towards it, or try to find ways where it can be more stimulating. So if you like sports, or if you like doing certain tasks, trying to turn that into an activity or being outside, and that's really what it's about. How do we get you to be more active? So let me know what you thought about this video, and if you found this information valuable. And if you did, please hit the like button and subscribe for future videos. And until then, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and take care.